Hello and welcome to this tutorial where I will be showing you how to generate an image that will look something similar like this using the p5js framework for JavaScript. If you don't know what p5js is, p5js is a framework for JavaScript that basically makes using the canvas, the HTML canvas, a lot easier and simpler, and it's just overall really easy to use and easy to learn. Doesn't require you lots of like writing your own functions because it brings a lot of the functionality with it. So we'll start by generating a project. p5 generate, we'll call it space image. Thank you. Then we'll open the sketch.js. And now we got to think about how we want to generate this image. So if you have a look at this image right here, images usually, if you look at people drawing or painting, they usually start with the bigger things and then they refine and detail layer on layer. So that's what we will be doing as well. We will start by creating a background and then adding the gradient and then adding the stars. So for this, I'm going to create a function called generate space image, and that's going to return some image, and we're going to generate that image using the createGraphics function that p5js provides. Here we will enter the width and the height of our canvas, and we'll get an image or a color for the background. Sorry, color. I've got one I like. Background color equals color. There we go. And we'll be drawing that color to the created graphic, which is image. So we'll do image.background background color. And then we'll open up our live server and we'll see what it looks like. Space image. Nothing. Oh. Wow. Ah, that's right, because we generated the image, but we're not drawing it anywhere. So up here, I'll create a variable called space image, and then here we'll say space image is generate space image. That will return the image that is created by the createGraphics function, and then in here we'll say image space image 0, and we'll have a look again. There's a big blackness, nothing. Now p5, I don't know if that's the p5 generator doing this, but they always add like a margin left. Not sure why, so I'm just going to remove that. Get back here. Okay, so now that we've got the image, you can have the console open so that we can have a look in case we get some errors or something. So now we want to think how we want to draw the color, right? So we've got the color that's in the center here. It's like a sort of like a purplish color. I've got the color code for it here. So we'll do that. Purple is color like that. And I think we can use that to draw lines across the screen. So we'll start with a loop, for loop. That's gonna go over every single pixel. So we're gonna go let I equals 0, and then I is less than width, I++. And then we're going to draw a line and see what happens. Images dot line. We'll say x is y, I, starting at 0, and then I again, ending at height. And we'll see what happens. Seems quite black, and that's probably because the stroke is still the basic color. So we're going to go image.stroke, and we're going to say purple, because we have that color stored in the purple variable. And now you can see our image is completely purple, but we want to get this gradient thing that we have here. So I know p5js has some functions, p5js reference. I'm going to have a look at one of them and pick one that we will like. So they've got a couple, trigonometry. So I think in the example here, I used the sin one, which generates like a curve sort of idea. You've got a 10 as well, which is more of like a exponential sort of value. But for now, we'll just use sin. So go back here. We'll have a look. So we have to think about what we want to, where that value is going to come from. So if we think about this image, so the closer it gets to the middle, so the closer it gets to width divided by 2, the color purple has to become more prominent, and then as it goes further out from width, it has to become less prominent. So we'll start by doing that. So we'll say we'll map the I, because we need to make sure that we get that value. So let I just call it mapped width equals map, which we'll say I goes from 0 to width, and we'll map it from -1 to 1. And then we'll say let color lerp, or whatever we'll call it, lerp purple. That sounds fun. Is lerp color. We're gonna say it goes from background color to purple, and we're going to use the mapped width, but we're going to use it in absolute, so it's always going to be positive. And then we'll say stroke is lerped purple. We'll save, and we'll go check it out. Oh, as you can see, it's started out with a lot of purple and went to black and back to purple, but we want to have it go the other way, so we're going to swap these around. This is going to be purple, and then it's going to be background color. So I'll have a look again. Yep, that's what we want. So as you can see, it's already starting to look kind of like how we want here. I don't know why it's doing these weird stripes. I'll have to figure out why, but for now we'll just ignore that. And now we can go to drawing some of the stars. So the easiest way we can do that is just by going, we can either pick a value between how many stars we want to generate. So we say like, oh, we want to generate max 500 stars, so that max stars equals 500, whatever. But for now, I'm just going to say that that's width, because I think width's a good value for the stars. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do for loop, which we're going to say let I, and I is less than max stars. And just for simplicity, we're just going to go let location equals location x. We're going to say random 0 do width, and we're going to make a location y. This is going to be random from 0 to height, and then we're going to say a point. So we're going to go image.point at location x for the x value and location y for the y value, and we'll see what happens. So you can barely see it, but it's used the black stroke because we ended with that in the other loop. You can barely see it, really small. So we're going to give them a color. I've got a nice color here. It's a coolish color. So star cold, I'm going to call it, and it's going to be color. Oh, and we're going to say stroke star cold. Oh, make sure we don't forget to put the image dot stroke, or else it will just apply to the normal canvas and not to the created graphics. I'm going to go back. Ah, wow, we've got stars. So if you have a look, this has generated approximately the amount of stars equal to the width. So if we say 10, obviously there's going to be a lot less stars. There's going to be 10. So I will keep this to width. And now I want to think about what makes stars look realistic. So in my opinion, having them, not all stars are always equally as bright. So when you have a look at the sky when it's night, some stars are going to be brighter than others. So we'll start by doing that, which means we'll have to do some sort of random function, or some sort of function where we pick a value that makes the stars larger. So we'll start by let star size is random from, we'll say 0.1 to 3, and then we're going to go here and we're going to say image.stroke width. I'm going to say star size, and we'll see what it generates for us. Ah, stroke width is not a function. Stroke weight. Yep. Ah, so see, that's a lot better already. I'm not satisfied with how it looks, and that's probably because of pixel density. So I'm just going to adjust the pixel density here. Image the pixel density is 1. We'll see how that looks. I didn't change anything. Well, too bad. It's a bit too big. Have a look. That's a bit better. I think there's a bit too much star, so we're going to say divided by 2. Have a look. It looks quite nice. Yep. And then we got to think about the dimness. So we've got this size. So some stars are bigger than others, and then we got to think about how bright a star would be. So I think P5 has a function that's set alpha mode in P5 color. Yeah. So what we'll do is we've got a set alpha color. So you get a color and then you do set alpha. So we've got our color here, which is star cold, and we're gonna do star cold dot set alpha, and we're gonna say let random alpha is random between 1 and 255. Actually, I want to do it a little less because I don't want to bright, so I'm going to do 200. And we're going to say set alpha, and let's see what it generates for us. As you can see, this is a lot more realistic. So now it looks like it's kind of a dim sort of, they're kind of there, but not all of them. And now the final thing we want to do is you want to have a look at colors. Not all stars are the same color. In my example here, you can kind of see some of them are a bit reddish, some are a bit bluish. They're warmer stars, cold stars, you know, stuff like that. So I've got a couple more colors here. We'll just duplicate this. So I'm gonna go and add a hot star color. And another one, a warm one. So it's got a kind of a reddish one and more of a cooler one. So we'll call this one warm, cold, cool, cold. This is a warm one. And then this is more hot color, because stars, when they're the hotter they are, the wider they are. Although that doesn't really matter. So let's first pick a random color from one of these three. So I'm just gonna do a simple 1, 2, 3. So random color is random floor random 1 to 0 to 3. And then we're going to say with stroke color, I'm going to keep that empty, and we're going to say if pick color is the same as 0, I'm going to say that stroke color is star warm. Else if pick color is the same as 1, then we're going to say stroke color is the same as cold, star cold. And then finally we're going to say else stroke color is what's the last one? Star hot. So now nothing changed yet because we still have to select the color in our stroke here. So we're going to put stroke color into here, and we're going to set the alpha for it to a random alpha that we created before. Just increase it slightly, and we'll see what it brings us. Wow. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a bit more realistic. We can adjust some values. So if you got, I really like it being a bit lower, and maybe we can do 1.5. So here you've got something similar to what I've generated here. I think here I use a lot more stars. So currently it's set to width divided by 2, so we'll put it a bit higher. Oh, that's better. So I think we can smooth it out a bit by saying image.noSmooth. Yeah, this is a bit better. So there you have it. You can tweak these values a bit to see what you can get out of it. Maybe you can make your own version of this and then show it around. I would love to see what you create, and I'll post the code for this somewhere. And thank you for watching, and I hope this taught you anything. If it did, then leave a like. Wish I could do like a function. Whatever. Thanks for watching, and catch you later.